move right into our first reading for the day, and this is from The Mystic Jesus, The Mind of Love by Marianne Williamson. Enlightenment begins as an abstract concept, then takes a journey without distance from the head to the heart. Of course, it seems real to us that someone was unkind or mean to us, that we were rejected or failed to achieve something we desperately wanted, or that an important relationship failed. Of course, it seems real to us that innocent people are murdered, unjust wars occur, and people starve to death. Those things are real in our mortal experience, and they should not be ignored. But such dramas are happening within a world that is itself a veil in front of a truer truth, a world of three-dimensional reality that, while real in one sense, is not our ultimate reality. They are the manifestations of humanity having forgotten who we are, and they will change accordingly when we wake up and remember. As we move further into a new millennium, who among us does not feel a sense that the world as we know it is fundamentally askew or cattywampus? As evidence, not just in our individual lives, but in the very way that we are living on the planet. Who doesn't recognize that constant examples of violence and destruction are symptoms of a deeper disquiet? Who isn't looking in some way for a higher purpose, a deeper sense of meaning, and a transformed sense of self? Such questioning is when the spiritual quest begins, and once it begins, the path opens before us. Asking deep in our hearts for a way past the insanity of the world, we are led, often circuitously, always mysteriously, to something that opens the inner door. The mystic Jesus is one name on that door. He is someone whose mind was purified of any thoughts of separation or illusion, and who has been authorized by God to help the rest of us to achieve that state, should we so ask. In no moment does he succumb to the lure of ego, and with his help, we can learn not to succumb to it either. The door having been opened within him, he has the power to help open it within us. He is not the only path to God, but if he is yours, then you come to realize it. He is an internal teacher, an evolutionary guide back to the primordial oneness to which our souls so long to return. He is called Jesus the Christ because he lived in the world of illusion, yet remembered a higher truth. He perceived this world, yet saw beyond it. He lived outwardly on the material plane, yet inwardly on the spiritual. In him, the two became as one. And so it is.
That's right. Good morning. So our second inspirational message today, by Marianne Williamson as well, same book, Mystic Jesus, The Mind of Love, and it's entitled Enlightenment. Hi, Jenny. She just appeared there suddenly. Hi, everyone. Thank you. Yeah. The journey of enlightenment is not a learning, but an unlearning. Unlearning those attitudinal strictures that have boxed us in and stolen our joy. We come to see that we are not just material beings trapped in the confines of our mortal existence. As creations of God, we are so much more. Christ is a word for that so much more. Our higher self, our spiritual reality, our life beyond the limitations of the body. To think we are nothing but the physical self is simply an illusion. Just as the plane taking off appears from the ground to get smaller as it flies into the sky, just as the earth feels still, although it's moving at thousands of miles per hour, and just as matter is made up of tiny particles we can't see with the naked eye, the reality of the spiritual self, while unseen by the physical eye, is our ultimate reality, nonetheless. Christ is the inner self that lies seemingly trapped beneath the illusions of the world. To remember it is a form of salvation because it saves us from an illusion of who we are. The light in which we were created and through which we are inseparable from God and from each other, is real, whether we believe it or not. Just as the earth is round, though many believed it was flat. We're like people in a very bright room, putting our fingers in front of our eyes and complaining, it's dark in here. The ego is merely the false belief that we are separate. It is a self-perpetuating illusion, chaining us to repeated misperceptions of ourselves and those around us. Enlightenment is the process by which we burst free of those chains, and by doing so, help free others. So join me now in our affirmation, which we'll repeat 3 times. I was created in light, and I am one with God. I was created in light, and I am one with God. I was created in light, and I am one with God.
And now our very own Carol Dixie. For those of you who are new today, I get choked up often, so thank you, Carol. Beautiful. So we've talked about let go and let God, and I switched it to let God and let go. There are some steps in there. I mean, it sounds neat and easy to, let go, let God. Let God, let go. You see the signs around, people have plaques on their desk or whatever. But what does that mean, to let go and let God? What does it mean to give something over? So I've shared before that for me, surrender was a 4-letter word in my early life, because I didn't surrender to anybody or anything. I'm just not, because for me, that was a sign of weakness. That means I'm in defeat, and I'm admitting to you that whatever this is that's going on, I haven't met whatever needed to be met. And I just need to give up, fall on my sword, and it's all over. Well, even if that needed to be done, I wasn't going to do it in front of anybody. So I surrendered to no one and no thing. If I surrendered in private, and I just let myself fall apart and have that time alone. So it wasn't until I tilled spiritual ground, deep spiritual ground, that I surrendered. And the only thing I surrender to is spirit. To spirit. What does that mean? So to surrender is to give yourself up. And to say that I am giving myself fully to whatever it is I'm surrendering to. So if you are surrendering before the enemy, then you often, you might be killed, or you say, okay, just take me in whatever it is. You either be tortured or whatever it is was the standard there for that particular enemy. But when we surrender to spirit, it is an opening of arms. It is a positive act of love that says there is something greater than my circumstances that can hold me where I am, exactly where I am. It is an opening up and perhaps giving yourself to whatever is, being an acceptance in the moment and saying, just like with the theft, stuff had just happened. And I don't like it. I don't know why it happened. I may not know who did it, but I'm just going to look at what is and not run from it. So you don't resist. You don't start running around saying, I wish it hadn't happened, and why couldn't someone else, why did they do this? And then you spiral down within the wishing it hadn't happened. When we surrender, we give ourselves totally to a situation, and your arms are open wide in the circumstance, and saying, here it is what it is. I don't have to run, I don't have to resist, I don't have to fight. In fact, I don't even have to do anything in the moment of acceptance. It's a mere opening up and saying, I see this fully for what it is. And perhaps within that, you have some emotion around the circumstance. Like I said, when Molly and Stephen and I realized what happened, we were saddened by it. And we let ourselves feel that. And so for a little bit, we just kept saying, can't believe this happened. Like what? In our house, here, in this place, within our community. Somebody came in, possibly from our community, maybe not a community member, and took advantage of a situation. We were all taken aback by that. How could that happen here? And yet, we had to stand in with what happened and saying, and yes, it happened. And this is what we got. And this is what we got. And what do we do now? And so for the moment, it was just, here it is. This is it. This is what we got. And feel it and trust each other that we can just say what we need to say and be how we need to be within that circumstance. And again, not running, not fighting, just letting whatever has happened, let yourself be in that circumstance fully. And we often don't want to do that because we don't want to feel what we feel. We don't want to be angry. We don't want to be sad. We don't want to be dismayed. We don't want to be confused with this particular situation. And all of a sudden you start having suspicions about things. When did it happen? How did it happen? Who made it happen? And so we did that for a bit, and then we left it alone. And then we said, well, let's get clear about how we move forward now. What can we do to move forward? And so we figured out what those were, and we started brainstorming. What steps do we take now? And so we took some steps. And that was all a part of being in acceptance and then allowing ourselves to move forward one step at a time as it was revealed to us. So you have something presents itself. You don't fight, you let it be. Eyes wide open, both human eyes and maybe the third eye, that of divine wisdom, and you allow, that's the letting God into the circumstance. That's the surrender. That yes, something happened, and, not but, and I know that there's a loving, powerful, all-powerful force that is at the back of all life and circumstance, including this. Including this. God stands under all things. God stands in and through all things. Sometimes we have to affirm that over and over until we move from sadness or dismay or confusion or anger and then get to the actual feeling of surrender and allowing God into the circumstance. By releasing our emotion, by affirming that God is here in this very room, in this very circumstance, we allow love to take hold of what happened. We allow God to take hold of us and what we feel about what happened. I may not know why this happened. Maybe I don't need to know why it happened. I just know that it happened. And then I give all those questions to the divine. And I trust, again, if we have tilled the spiritual soil, prayer, meditation, there I go again. Till the spiritual soil so that you can give yourself fully and let God in to the circumstance. Let God enter your heart as you view the circumstance. That's spiritual surrender. Maybe you have to say aloud, I don't know what to do with this, but I know Spirit has my back. I know implicitly that if there is something for me to do, I will be informed by Spirit about what that is. Not by the world, not dictated by the circumstance, but that I give it to Spirit fully, and Spirit affirms and informs me about what's next. Maybe it's just sit in silence and in prayer and hold the circumstance and let God hold me. And then I can hand it over and say, you know what, I'm done with this. I'm done with this. What's next? What's next? Lead me forward. So we surrender and we accept, or we accept and we surrender, whichever way you need to go. And it may be that you go back and forth between surrender and acceptance until you come to peace. And until you can feel the God of your understanding take hold of you. And you're no longer in stress or anxiety regarding what happened. When you feel the stress and anxiety calm down, when you feel it all chill out, when you feel yourself returning to peace, that's when you know you have surrendered fully. And then the thing is no thing. Yeah, it happened, I moved on. I took care of that. And maybe there are some logistics that have to happen. There are some things we're still doing regarding that circumstance, that occurrence. But spiritually, emotionally, mentally, I've let go of that. I've moved on. There are other things that Spirit wants me to attend to now. Not that thing. I don't even have to worry about whoever did the thing, because that too is in divine order. That too is in divine order. You don't have to worry about karma, them getting their just desserts. You don't have to worry about whether or not they needed the money or didn't need the money. Sometimes people take stuff because they want to take stuff, just because they can. You don't have to worry about their soul or revenge. You don't have to worry about all of it. You give that over, because all in divine order. That's for them to reconcile with the God of their understanding. Not my business. Not my business. My business is my soul. My business is my consciousness. My business is what is for me to do within this that Spirit has informed me about. And then Spirit guides me forward in life. I love when the things that I have made big become no things. When somebody can ask me about something, I say, oh, yeah, I'm not there anymore. I've moved on. I've moved on. When you don't have to have the conversation, when you don't have to repeat the story, when you don't have to ask for sympathy. Oh, woe is me. Something happened. You don't need the pity party. You don't have to walk around saying, why is stuff always happening to me? Sometimes I get there and I say, oh, another lesson. Oh my gosh, like what? What, Spirit? What? What? What do you want? I'm tired. Can I have a day off from growth, please? Can I just be a slacker, a spiritual slacker, for a week or two? Don't challenge me with anything or anybody. Just let me sit on my spiritual couch, scratching my spiritual gut. And just let me be. Leave me be. It depends on what you believe about life. I don't believe there is a Spirit handing me stuff to deal with. I believe life happens, and I get to move with ease and grace through it if I surrender to Spirit in all things. If I surrender, but you got to till the spiritual soil. The prayer meditation, I know. I'm saying those words again. But that's where the peace comes from. You don't have to worry about grasping for peace if you're always immersing yourself in that peace on a daily basis. It works, it really does. That's why I keep saying it's one of our tools in unity. Prayer meditation, affirmative prayer. That all good things are here. All good things are flowing into my life. I am vibrantly healthy. I am abundant. My life is filled with love and joy and harmony and unity. That's affirmative prayer. And then going into the silence and listening for Spirit to speak to me and to hold me. And sometimes I don't hear Spirit's voice. Sometimes I just feel Spirit in and around me in that silence. And then that silence follows me through my day, through my week. So I use Insight Timer for my meditation time. It gives me, I can set up gongs, and it'll gong every 2 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever. And so I can say, I have presets. One may be 30 minutes, and there's 45, and there's an hour, depending on how long I want to meditate that day. And so it will track how often you meditate, and it'll give you milestones. It's, you did 2 weeks today. Do you want to keep up your streak? Do you want to keep going? And so now I just noticed I got today's 360. And so 5 more days, I will have gone a full year of not missing a day of meditation. And so I was thinking as I saw that, so it has a counter, and it went from 359 to 360, and I thought, what's the difference now at 360 than say at day 10? What's the difference? Other than I did 20, 30, 40 minutes, 45, or an hour of quiet a day. What's the difference? So the difference isn't that I have extra gemstones in my crown in heaven. It's not that. It's not that I got enough brownie points that if there is a St. Peter and there are gates, and I'm standing before gates, that he's going to say, congratulations. Here you get this prize, and maybe it's a big teddy bear. I don't know. I don't know what happens at the pearly gates if there are such gates. But what changed was me. I changed. There is an inexplicable quiet in my beingness that is different than any other time in my life. Any other time. So within that 360, there are days I didn't want to meditate. There are days I didn't want to. There are days I got in bed at night and I still hadn't meditated, and I thought, nobody's going to know the difference. I don't have to. We don't have to do anything. But what I knew was if I'm going to continue to till that spiritual soil, I receive overflowing gifts from that. That's that seek you first the kingdom of God. The kingdom of God is within you. And so I got to discover every single day what this is. Now I have an experience of the vastness of the kingdom within me. And so even on days when the rug got pulled out, and it doesn't mean the rug doesn't get pulled out when you're meditating that often. It doesn't mean there's no rug getting pulled out. It just means you may take a step to say, oh, okay. The rug that I really stand on is God. That spiritual soil is God. Didn't mean I haven't had tears or some anxiety or fear through those 365 days. It means that within all of that, I still knew that God was real, and God was real for me, and God was really there for me, and that God was my reality. And that once I got through the emotion, even in the emotion, I was aware of God. And that makes all the difference. Even in my joy, I was aware of God. My joy was deepened. My peace was deepened. The quiet was deepened. I hear quiet even when it's noisy. Stuff that used to set me off doesn't set me off anymore. There are a lot of no things in my life. Things you run up against, those hypothetical brick walls that we run into, smash our heads into. You see stars for a little bit, and you wonder, now what, now what, now what? It's different now. It's different. So I always ask, what are you willing to give yourself? Are you willing to give yourself that level of peace? Are you willing to be in the quiet often enough that you let God in? Or you become aware of God being in, because God is always in, whether we are aware or not. Because God is in and through all things. It's my belief. That's why I say get acquainted, know what it is, what is your understanding of God, and know that implicitly. Pull it apart, ask questions, spend time in it, analyze it, feel it, be with it, let it be with you, go into the silence. When you ask questions, you get answers. God's always there waiting. Love, unconditional love is always there waiting for us to do this. Come on. Help me with this situation. What do I do now? What would you have me do? What would you have me be now in this? And help me make it no thing. Because all I want is peace. And so daily I run to the peace of the quiet. So even if I've gotten in bed and I just really want to go to sleep, there are days I still sat up and meditated. The spiritual soil, you got to till it, you got to get out there, you got to do the work. You got to do the work. And the work's not hard, really. Well, it's simple, it may be hard, to quiet your mind and be in the silence. And let the silence be with you. Let the silence be with you. And when you do that on a regular basis, when you get to acceptance, it's easier. That learning curve from anxiety and stress into, okay, this is no thing. I don't have to figure this out. It can happen like that. Or you can sit and stew, whichever you prefer. I have chosen the stewing. It's not fun. It takes the joy out of living. Raises your blood pressure, your heart rate. And all kinds of hormones raging around because it thinks you're in fight and flight. Everything's reacting. Your mind's reacting. Your brain is firing off, wondering, how do we keep her calm? How do we lower the blood pressure? Things happen. Body's cattywampus. Here we go. A lot of cattywampus in the world. We're back to that. But it's in the practice. That's why they call it the practice, practice, practice. So Carnegie Hall is a spiritual destination. Practice, 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 and you get to peace. And that time when you need peace, especially, again, when the stuff hits the fan, you've already got it. Your spiritual soil rises to meet you. And so in a moment you go, oh, God, why'd that happen? And then you think, oh, all right, let me just be quiet. Let me just get still. I know there's something that's got it covered. Let me surrender myself to it. Let me let God into this. Let me get quiet. And I may have to talk to my body, get quiet. I may have to slow my breath. I might have to take some deep inhales and exhales. Maybe I need to walk around. Again, sometimes you need physical activity to help you emote and get whatever's going on within you out of you so that you can be clear and open to the divine that's waiting for you to open your arms, that's waiting for you to know and to give you the next step. To shower upon you that peace that you're waiting for. And then the clarity rushes in. Your next step is made known. And the step after that is made known once you take the first step. You go to step 2. You can relinquish control. When I was a control freak, my life was stressful. And now I know I can give it all to Spirit. I don't have to worry about my schedule. I don't have to worry about what shows up. I don't have to worry about what doesn't show up. I don't have to worry about what goes wrong. It may not be going wrong. It may be going right. It's just that it's not according to the plan I had for the way it should go. But when I surrender, then divine wisdom can come in and move stuff around the checkerboard of life and bring to you what you need and want and desire in that moment. That's better than what you prayed for. Because when we open our arms wide to the divine, it allows that to happen. Because our minds know about some possibilities. Divine mind knows all infinite possibilities. And things can happen that you never dared dream. How much peace do you want? How much peace do you want? You can get as little or as much as you want. But you have to be willing to open the doors to the divine that's waiting just on the other side of the door for you to say, okay, come on in. I'm surrendering this. Again, surrender to Spirit is not defeat. It's an acceptance of the love that's already waiting for you, the abundance that's already waiting for you, the unconditional love that's already waiting for you. So you go from clenched fist to this. To this, simply this. And you move forward with your arms open. Your arms open. So we're not worried about $900 missing. It's a no thing. It's a no thing. Do I know why it happened? No. I don't need to spend my time there. I spend my time affirming the goodness of Spirit. There's quite enough love. There's quite enough joy. There's quite enough power for you, for everyone, for the whole world, for all 8 billion plus of humanity. There's more than enough for all of us. All of us. Let's take this into meditation. So take a deep breath. So with something you've got going on in life, that you may be resisting, or that you're still in the wish it hadn't happened, or maybe you've still got some emotion you're not willing to feel. Can you get to acceptance in this moment? Can you open your mind and your heart? Can you look at it fully? Can you feel it fully? Will you give yourself that gift of acceptance? And then accepting the infinite love and power of the divine. To make it a no thing for you. What are you carrying now that you'd really like to let go of? Doesn't matter how long you've carried it. It can be decades old, 30, 40, 50 years old. Something that happened when you were a child. It can be something that happened just yesterday. Doesn't matter. Divine wisdom, divine love can heal all things. So I invite you, as you appraise the thing that is, to open your arms wide and to picture yourself either figuratively or literally opening your arms wide. Unclench your fist. Let go of the fight. Let go of the resistance. Let go of your preconceived notions. Let go of your bias. Let go of your need to be right. Let go of playing small. Let go of the illusion that you're not enough. Let go of the illusion that you're not worthy. Be willing to let go of the confusion, the drama, the story. And I invite you in this moment to say, I am ready for God to have its way with my affairs. I'm ready for love to have its way. I surrender to love. I surrender to love. I surrender to that which is all powerful. I surrender to divine intelligence, divine mind, divine consciousness that knows all things. I surrender to that which always has my highest and best in mind. That knows my deepest desires, my dreams that I may have forgotten or shoved someplace deep within me. I surrender to love. I surrender to love. I surrender to love. I surrender to love. And love holds me. Love empowers me. Love heals me. Love carries me. Love lights my way. Love lights my way. Let's take a deep breath together. Exhale. Inhale again. Let go, let God. Exhale, let God, let go. Relax and invite peace in. So it is. Amen.